How you doing today?
Good.
And how did we just meet right now? How did our paths just cross?
We were just walking on the street here down in Manhattan Beach.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then what did I approach you about? What was the interview about?
About a podcast about some reflexology and women on their feet.
And mental health.
Yes.
And mental health, absolutely. So, and let me pull out my questions because I got my questions here.
Okay.
And that way I can just kind of zip through this. And all right. So first question, what's something that you like that other people might find weird? Like something that you love to do?
Well, I really like fishing of all things. I grew up on the East Coast and got a bunch of brothers. And fishing is something I like to relax at sometimes.
Sweet.
But really just being in nature.
Fly fishing or?
Bass fishing, trout fishing, and out here, of course.
Sweet. Okay. Has anyone ever made you feel insecure about like a body part or just about yourself in general, your body, anything like that?
I'm a former Division I athlete, and there's a lot of pressure sometimes put on us to look a certain way, and also for our performance. And it was very difficult for me when I first entered college athletics to lift and bulk up a lot. And that was really uncomfortable, and I think a lot of my teammates also went through the same issues. But at the same time, you wanted to be at peak performance and had to follow the plan.
Absolutely. Did you play softball, volleyball?
Lacrosse, actually.
Lacrosse, wow. Yeah. Okay, you out there getting rough with it. So how did that make you feel in terms of like a feeling that you would attach to that? Like,
it was a bit hard to accept, I'd say, at first. Again, in that first semester, I'm someone that loves shopping, and then when your clothes aren't fitting the same way, it can be difficult. But once I moved past that, didn't let it affect me anymore. But initially it was difficult.
Okay. And so you've overcome that now.
Yeah.
It's not something that you're insecure about anymore.
No.
Okay, cool. If there was one thing that you could change about yourself, and it doesn't have to be physical, just anything in general, one thing you change about yourself, what would it be?
Just not doubt myself as much.
Okay.
I'd say that's something, just being more self-confident and always trusting myself.
Absolutely. I think that's something that sometimes we all deal with in terms of that, so that's a good one. Okay, so now how do you feel about your feet? What are your thoughts?
About my feet? Well, I'm very grateful for them.
Okay.
Went for a nice run this morning. Couldn't do that without my feet.
Okay.
I don't really pay attention to them as much as I should, I guess.
Okay, so do you like them? You don't like them? You indifferent?
Yeah, I mean, they get me places, I guess.
Okay.
But
Okay. Have you ever received any compliments on your feet? Like anybody in passing, ever? Never?
No.
Okay. How would you feel if a man gave you a compliment about that?
I'm not actually sure.
Okay.
About that.
Well, tell me. Be honest. Like, what would go through your mind? What would, somebody said that first 10 seconds, your reaction after that?
I might be a bit uncomfortable just because it is not that common.
Yeah, absolutely.
Expected.
Absolutely. What if a woman gave you that same compliment?
Yeah, maybe not as uncomfortable.
Okay.
But still a bit unexpected.
Still, yeah. It's something that's not a common compliment that people throw out. What are your thoughts? And the reason why, before I get to that, here's why I asked you about the difference between the two. I interviewed someone before.
Okay.
And she told me that a lot of times women from a young age are kind of taught to like dislike and hate on other women. And so basically, when you receive a compliment from a woman, it seems more sincere as opposed to like sometimes men give compliments to just like get something in return. So what are your feelings about that? How do you?
I never really thought about that at all. I think there's a lot with this whole women's empowerment movement right now where women are supposed to support women.
Yeah.
I don't know if that necessarily influenced like my difference in reaction between the two. But I can see some people having that viewpoint.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on a significant other if you were dating somebody who was into feet? What are your thoughts on that?
That would be uncomfortable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a reason why? Is it just because you're not into it? Or
I don't know. That's just my initial gut reaction.
Okay. If you started dating someone, right? When do you think would be an appropriate time for them to bring that up to you? Like about any type of fetishes that they might have or anything like that? Like, is it, because I talked to somebody yesterday and she was like, she feels like right away. You said, and I was like, I don't know. I feel like maybe you
I
wait.
think if they came out right away,
Yeah.
I might respect them, but
Okay.
I'm just saying I would probably end it.
Oh,
right
okay,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. How often do you get like pedicures, things like that?
Pretty often, like twice a month.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm due for another one.
Oh, okay, okay. How often do you wear like open-toed shoes, sandals, flip-flops?
Out here, I mean, I try and go to the beach every day. So
Oh, okay, that's cool. I
pretty
mean,
frequently.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess when you live in California, it's kind of easy to make your way over to the
Exactly.
beach. Okay, and so now that we entered this portion, can we see what your foot look up close?
I wouldn't really feel comfortable with that, to be honest. Yeah.
And why not?
I just, yeah, it's just
Okay.
not really comfortable.
Okay, so let me tell you, let's start in the mental health aspect, okay?
Okay.
Have you ever heard of DBT before? It's called dialectical behavioral therapy, okay? And basically it's a study of, let's say you're somebody who suffers from anxiety, like a fear of approaching strangers, things of that nature. They basically deal with living in the moment, like getting people to like get out of that comfort zone sometimes of retracting, like when something's uncomfortable, and putting yourself out there. With the thought being that when you do put yourself out there, that you ask yourself, is there a threat to your life or to your safety? And if not, you should proceed, because you could experience like pleasurable events and good moments. What are your thoughts on that? Do you agree, disagree?
I think I'm still processing it. I think I have to read more about it to make a decision.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, it's called DBT. I can tell you a little bit more about it after we're done. Okay. So in terms of the interview so far, how are you feeling about like some of the questions?
Not what I was expecting. Okay.
Okay, you're a little bit more off guard now because of the questions.
Yes.
Okay.
I was not expecting as much many questions about my feet.
Yeah. Well, it's a part, like I said. So the reason why I came up with this concept, I was watching another guy during quarantine who started a channel, and he was going up and he was talking to a lot of people who had been like locked up for months, hadn't talked to anybody, no discussions like that. And so as he was having these discussions, like he was talking about this, and it was bringing forth a lot of mental health issues that people were having because no communication, things like that. So this whole interview is like designed to like, feet for a lot of people is uncomfortable. Like it's an uncomfortable topic. It has a lot of negative stigmas and negative connotations attached to it. So I decided to come up with this as a way of having conversations, right? Asking questions, and to see how comfortable you can be while we're having these discussions, right? So this is why I take you from start to finish, and then we get down to the mental health aspect, and I ask you all the questions to see if you were able to be comfortable in that situation. Which is why I threw in the DBT, and I told you about that to see exactly if you can do that. So how do you feel about that?
I appreciate you letting me know that sort of it now later.
Yeah. Well, it's designed to do, because if I told you up front,
of course.
right, I don't get the raw reaction from you, right? So that's what I'm looking for. So let's talk about reflexology. You said you don't really know anything about it?
No, not at all.
Okay. Reflexology is like the study of the different pressure points we have in our hands and feet. And basically those pressure points correlate back to different parts of our body. And basically like through massage, acupuncture, things like that, you can alleviate stress and tension throughout your body. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I believe it. I mean, again, going back to the D1 athletics, like we had performance massages every single game, and I saw a lot of benefits, and so I do think there's
some benefits in that.
Some value.
Absolutely. Okay, so now that we entered like to the end portion, is there any advice from a mental health standpoint that maybe you can like give to the people on my channel who watch? It could be a life lesson that maybe you learn throughout your time, just something that you can give back to people from our viewers.
I'd say like don't be afraid to reach out to people. I'd say even during this whole quarantine process, I actually felt I reached out to more people that I may have lost touch with more so, and so yeah, don't be scared to reach out.
Sweet. Okay. And so what are your thoughts on like my approach? How was my approach to you? Like when I came up, was it good, bad?
Yeah, it was very friendly. Yeah, I mean it's a public place right now, so.
And that's why I do it like in the open, so that you can feel comfortable and things like that. I think if it
wasn't in the open, I probably wouldn't have agreed.
Absolutely. And what are your thoughts about the interview in terms of beginning to end? Did it make sense? Did you learn anything new? Anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't heard of reflexology before or DBT, so
Good.
Learn something.
Okay, sweet. Any last words? Anything you'd like to say?
Nope, not at all.
Okay, thank you so much.
All
Appreciate
right.
your time.